that's
Oh, baby, baby.
that's pretty much how it went.
Brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Don't put that dirty mouth on me. All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, baby, baby.
That's
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Morning.
So we're starting the day off. I need you guys to get your wins rolling. I need to bail on you soon. I am in a parking lot at the Hogan Fair waiting on Nicole right here. We are going to have ourselves a 3-hour recruiting session for the brokerage.
nice.
By show of hands, who went to Hogan School?
Negative.
I did.
Me.
Aceable agent.
There you go. Online school. You guys ever seen the Key and Pill skit around the different schools?
Yeah,
No.
If you haven't, you need to.
it's hilarious.
The East-West Conference, Key and Peele.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of them's all DeMarcus Thomas, homeschooled.
Oh
So,
yeah.
all right. What are your
She's a
wins?
shake.
I'm proud of.
Well,
I
Jess
gotta.
obviously traveled to San Francisco, so that's her win.
This is on camera. I'm like, oh dang, that's what her face looks like.
I'm trying to fix it.
She's off trying to take my face off the camera.
I feel like a 60-year-old who doesn't know how to use a phone. I'm
That's
like,
like me
why
with
does it
social
keep
media.
putting that as my background?
Okay.
Jim, let's go have lunch.
I was gonna say that's my social media.
You guys gotta have breakfast early because you guys are tired by lunchtime. All right.
I wrote up 2 purchase contracts yesterday, finished a listing contract yesterday, and my first listing goes live today.
Your first listing ever?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Nice
Trey's
job.
it's awesome.
killing it. Trey's killing it.
Well, I'm closing. I'm about to leave here in like 10 minutes to go close that deal we were talking about yesterday.
Congratulations, girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was a hard fought battle.
I had my buyer that we put a contract in cancel the contract because he's going on vacation somewhere far, far away that we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
But that same day, I got another buyer.
But like prison?
No.
Oh.
He works for a certain entity and does certain things for this entity, but they're going to an undisclosed location for vacation.
Malibu.
I mean,
Mexico City.
Probably Wisconsin or Minneapolis.
the entire place can be considered a beach. There's just no water.
Might it end in bad?
And then so I got a buyer yesterday, bad experience, bad start with that guy, but
All right, Eric's glitching out on me. I'm gonna flick over somebody to be host. Who wants to do it? Sam or Jim?
I'll do it.
Sam it is.
I'll fight Jim for it. Thumb wrestle. Or no, rock, scissors, paper. Here we go. Ready? On 3.
Sam
Rock,
still
paper,
the
scissors.
Super Bowl. He can have it.
It's not a fair fight. It's 2 against 1, Sam. I don't know if you noticed. Not a fair fight.
Yeah, there we go. All right, fair enough.
Jim 1 and Jim 2.
He
Ooh,
brings.
yeah, there you go.
All right, love you guys. Mean it. Have a fantastic Friday. Call me later.
Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Sweet. You guys want to do wins?
We
You
just
doing
did
them?
wins, bro. Give up
No,
those.
Come
they're
on,
not-
Sam. Get it together.
I have a win. I have
hear it.
I have clients that have to do a short sale and I have never done it before. I know, and it's a really, really tough situation. But I am having Sean Polston mentor me on it. And I had a conversation with him yesterday, and it was just really reassuring to feel a little bit more confident with having someone else there who's had so much experience in it.
They're
Awesome.
rough. I'm in the middle of a short sale right now.
Are you?
Yeah, it's rough because it's not up to the sellers anymore. Once it's a short sale, it's up to the bank,
Mm-hmm.
and the banks take forever. We've been under contract for almost 2 months.
Okay.
So the hard part is going to be keeping your clients motivated. I'm finding that hard because they get discouraged when they don't hear
Okay.
anything back from the bank.
Okay.
But yeah, from my understanding, it could take a couple months
Yeah, and
Um,
I've been trying to be very transparent with them and upfront, like anything he's telling me, I'm telling them. So I'm saying, this is going to be a lengthy process, but thankfully my clients are very it was just a really tough conversation because he's like, Caitlin, I have no other options. Like I'm gonna work
Yeah.
with you on whatever I have to do because I can't do anything else.
communication in these is like
Are
very
there
important.
are there
Okay.
any like extra documents that come with the short sale, or is it kind of just like a regular deal that just takes
No.
a lot longer?
There's more documents.
Yeah, there's a short
Yeah.
sale addendum.
Yep.
And then they have to fill out an entire short sale package from the actual lender.
Oh dang, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to, provide really everything, like exactly what they have been spending their money on, their bills and everything like that. So
It's pretty intrusive.
Is
Sounds
it?
like an
Okay.
assumable.
Hey, Caitlin, I know that with short sales, like you have to make sure that all your documents are like 100% correct because I know like
Mhm.
banks don't mess around, like they will like decline.
Yeah, I
everything.
spoke with their lender and he said if anything's wrong, they'll decline it and you have to start completely over. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
happy I have Sean Polston because
Okay, yeah, I was gonna tell you. Yeah,
yeah. So
offers
he's
to help.
mentoring me. Yeah, because I wouldn't know what to do, but I think it'll be nice to see it on the back end and learn how to do it.
Dumb
Yeah,
question,
that's
but do they, with a short sale, they're still financing it through that same bank? Or they're bringing in a different lender and just buying it from that bank?
It depends. Most ones I've seen, it's a new lender that's purchasing the short sale.
So it's under current loan terms and all of that kind of stuff for the buyer.
Yeah, because they're essentially selling at a loss. They have to, the bank has to okay it and go through the whole process they do.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a very long process. So
yeah.
you gotta be patient with it.
Okay. And they also have solar, so I know that doesn't make anything easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unpaid solar, I'm assuming.
Yeah, at least.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So what happens in that case? Do they have to assume the solar loan still, or does that get bought and paid off with the closing?
So from us, what Sean had explained is he said that we need to reach out to the solar company and basically see what they would like to do. Because if we do leave them on the house, then the next buyer is going to have to qualify for them as well. So they'd have to be okay with solar and a short sale. But from my understanding is he was saying that some solar companies will just come and take their panels off so they don't lose them.
Which
I don't
would be
know if anyone
ideal.
else can weigh in on that.
Depending on how old they are, yeah.
They just got them last year, so they're very new.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a year old, I'm sure they would come in and potentially remove them.
Okay.
Okay, what was
Guys, people requested.
Oh, sorry. What was the question we had yesterday? And Dan was like, that's a great question for Sam tomorrow. Do you guys remember what it was?
Yeah, buying up rates to get cash for close.
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
the
What
deal
was
we
it?
had.
What was it?
Basically, like instead of I think I understand the question. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say that you have a client that qualifies for 5% for their interest rate on a 30-year fixed, and they can elect to close with 5.5%, and that 0.5% is going to pay them a rebate that would cover a portion of their cash to close. Was that the
You can
question?
do that?
Yeah,
So the
probably
question
because
is-
No, I think it was, remember if you're negative in your house and you owe money
Where'd your games go?
and how
it was
to
it was
get
the
a loan
situation I'm
from the
closing
bank.
today where the seller is basically upside down and appraisal came in under value. Buyer's already come up with a bunch of money to try to get the down payment and everything else. If seller is unwilling to offer the concessions that they were originally offering to help the buyer out, what are the other options for the buyer to get some cash?
Well, that's a tricky one because I guess it would depend on how much they have available for down payment in a percentage, right? Because banks will lend a percentage of the home's value, not necessarily a dollar amount. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, let's say I had a situation a couple years back where the client initially was going to put 20 for it was like, I don't know, just over 20% down. Let's call it 20% for easy math. And the appraisal came in low. Seller was unwilling to reduce the price of the home. They had to sell it for a certain amount. What the buyer elected to do, because they love this home, is in like their kid's school district. I mean, it's just like the perfect house. And it wasn't very far under what the sales price was. What they elected to do was reduce their down payment percentage and apply that money towards the overage in the appraisal. So as long as you're able to meet those minimum thresholds, like every lender is going to have, aside from VA and USC, every lender is going to have minimum borrower contributions. So like FHA is 3.5%, conventional is 3%, so on and so forth. But they're going to have these minimum borrower contributions where as long as those are met, anything above that could be applied towards an appraisal overage, whatever else. You can also apply interest rate credit towards stuff like that, as long as you're not going over the interested party contributions, IPCs.
Okay. Yeah. Like 4% for VA, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yep. Conventional is a little different because it's based on the amount they're putting down, or the loan to value. So depending on how much they're putting down, that number will vary. But yeah, 4% is that's like across the board the number that's accepted.
Yeah, we were just trying to come up with all the creative ways and solutions that the buyer could still get it.
Well, like in that situation, how much was the buyer putting down? Like in a percentage, do you remember?
Originally, they were told that they could get down payment assistance, and then when it went to underwriting, they kicked it back and they were like, no. So they went from like not putting anything down really. The list price or the contract price was $379.9 with $12,000 in concessions, and the buyer was getting down payment assistance. Well, then down payment assistance fell apart, so they had to come in with the 3.5%. Appraisal came in at 365. So then sellers were like, if we do 365, we can't give you any concessions. And that left a pretty big spread for the buyer. And she'd already, hustled and worked her ass off to try to find that difference to come up with the 3.5.
What was the concession amount again?
12,000. Yeah.
Even?
Yep.
And sales price is 379.
Originally, yeah, 379.9.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Because they're already, regardless, they're already at their minimum borrower contributions. They don't have any additional overage, and if the seller can't credit any more towards it, trying to think of another way you could do that. What was the appraised value versus contract price again?
365.
Was the value, and it was 379.
Purchase price was 379.9. The appraisal came back at 365.
So one thing, you guys probably already know this because you're all a bunch of smarties, but the reconsideration of value is something I like. In the past couple of years, I've utilized that so much just because we've had this like value fluctuation with the market where we've had values dip and then increase again. But how many of you have done a reconsideration of value on like with a buyer? Listings is probably a little less common for you to do, but
no, and we talked about that, the listing agent, and she was like, but that's not very likely. And this was at the 11th hour too. It was like literally we were supposed to close on the 29th. Appraisal came back on the 27th. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's take one day to figure out how we're going to bridge this divide.
Yeah, that's tough. If in most cases though, better to get an extension and get the deal done than to let it, grenade itself.
Yeah,
But
we had an extension, but then it was just a whole bunch of, the buyer had like a situation with the house they were leasing that they had to be out of. So they'd lined everything up, and it was like every factor and variable that could be there was there.
Yeah,
But we're closing it today.
nice. What was your solution?
So the seller's agent was already doing it for 1% because she'd worked with this client before and was like basically doing them a solid because it's like a divorce case, court ordered situation. So she was like, oh, if you come down to 1%, and I was like, that's cute. No. So I ended up, I had agreed to 2.5 in the original deal from the sellers. And I told the buyer, I'll bring, buyer broker commission down. That's the value that we'll agree to. Came back, they were saying the seller couldn't do more than 2,400, like, because they were already going to have to bring cash to the table because they owed 350 on the note. Like, it was a whole thing. So they were like originally only bringing 2,400. So then when it didn't appraise, they came back and they were like, we still can only do 2,400. And we're like, okay, cool. So you want everyone else to have skin in the game. Like, and you just don't want to budge from where you were originally at to make this happen, to avoid a short sale, which is the next step, losing your VA eligibility or entitlement that was also associated with it. Long story short, they pushed back on us and they were like, well, our sellers can't do it. So, let us know if you want to cancel or what you want to do. So we just crunched the numbers, like every which way you could do it, and ended up because their email said, but if you have some official proposal you want us to pitch. So then that to me was like, this is the seller's agent also trying to play a little bit of hardball, which, like, you're playing with fire at the 11th hour and literally risking a cancellation. That seems kind of freaking crazy to me. But so we put a proposal together where we said that we would bring seller compensation to buyer broker down to 1.5 from the 2.5. The seller concessions needed to be 5,500 still. And then I put the remaining 1% on a promissory note for the buyer to pay that over 60 days. So the buyer brokers still made whole, because she was like, I could get it later. I just can't get it in time for this. So it was like, this is what you need to close, assuming they lean in and can find a way to make that happen. And then we got an email yesterday morning that was like, hey, the buyers ended up getting a loan or borrowing money or something. And it's like, cool, welcome to the club. That's what everyone's doing.
They could get a loan during, like, are they paying cash?
I think they borrowed it from a family member. I think that they meant like they got a loan from a family member, which was
Okay.
what they had indicated. The seller's agent had told me that in the very beginning, that because I'd done the math because they were advertising it as a VA assumable. So of course I asked what the loan balance was, and then I'm doing the numbers and I'm like, these people are going to be like out of pocket on this. And so I had asked in the contract for seller to provide proof of funds sufficient to close. Because I didn't want to end up in this situation. The seller's agent flat out refused, never did send it. We could have cured them, but we decided to act in good faith and not cure them on that, because the communication was they were having help from a family member and it's not going to be that much money, yada, yada, yada. And then we ended up in this situation where they're like, they don't have the money. And I was like, this is exactly why I asked for it in the first place. Because,
Christina,
like,
did
yeah.
you put that in the contract, correct?
Yeah, Section 8.
Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because if in a normal situation, right, where there's equity value in it and the seller's not coming to the table, they're asking the buyer for proof of funds. They're basically saying, give us proof and evidence that you have the cash to be able to close this thing. Okay, well, if we're flipped and you're going to need to bring cash, you show me your cards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. Sorry, Sam, I had a situation like this where we weren't for sure, but I didn't know how to. I had just asked the agent. I didn't put it in the contract.
Yeah, I did it within 5 days of contract acceptance. Seller should provide proof of funds sufficient to close escrow.
Perfect, thank you.
Based on those offer terms that we had.
So that actually, I mean, obviously, well done, Christina. That's a masterclass in how to write contracts and negotiate and everything. That's something that I think isn't talked about enough, which is like, not just the negotiation aspect of it, but how do you set up a deal for success? There's so many little like nuances that I think they're easy to forget when we're excited about getting someone to contract, that can become such a pain in the ass later on. Like, for instance, closing on Fridays. Does everyone a fan of closing on Fridays?
No, the fact that we're
No, I
closing today
hate it.
makes me super nervous.
If anything happens, you have the weekend. You can't do anything, right? I mean, what about having buyers or schedule like moving trucks and stuff on closing day?
Same thing. It's like there's so many pieces of the puzzle, and that's what she was like. I switched utilities, and then she was like, I bought the appliances. I scheduled the mover, and I'm like, man, I want to go to Vegas with you because you've got some balls on you. That's awesome. But yeah, all that stuff, just all the looking down the road to see like even planning your inspection days. You know what I mean? When we first went under contract, we were getting into forget what days it fell over, but I want her to have the full time, right? I wanted that so we wrote in 14 days, obviously, instead of 10. Like just setting it up to where it was like looking at every piece of the puzzle. And what was crazy is that the listing agent obviously didn't even read the contract, because when she sent documents like seller disclosure and stuff like that after the fact, she didn't send the proof of funds, and I said, are you still working on the proof of funds, or do you have that available now also? And she was like, sorry, I don't know what you're referring to, LOL. And I was like, LOL, hello. LOL section 8, please see section 8. Black and white right there, blank lines filled out.
Gosh.
She
Yeah,
just
that's
looked at the numbers on the contract.
Huh?
So all she looked at was the numbers on the contract. She didn't look at all of it.
I guess not. And that's the thing too, right? It's like when we're going through contracts and like looking at it, like take all of it into account. Like look at your that just blows my mind that people are not reading it, even like or like doing the numbers, like getting ahead of it. And like my sellers in Saurita right now, Sam, they had an agent before, and he told them like, they were going to take home this if it was this sales price. And I was like, how did he get those numbers? And she's like, well, I guess if that was, if we paid for him, plus we paid for the buyer's agent. And I was like, okay, what about your other closing fees? Well, what other closing fees?
oh gosh.
Like, come on, bro. So then I'm coming in with a dose of reality, running a proper net sheet for them, so they can actually make a properly informed decision.
Yeah, it's funny, like not to diminish anything you're doing, Christina, but it's not hard to be good at this. And I speak on both sides, real estate and lending, but there's so many people on both sides that just fail to do the steps, like fail to do the research, take the steps, read contracts. I have a deal right now where the listing agent wants to terminate the contract because she forgot to write in. The buyer's agent wants to terminate the contract because she forgot to write in her commission in it, and she's not going to make anything on this deal. But it's like there's nothing she can do at this point to terminate the contract without doing something shady or illegal. And
okay, so what
I'm
about her
like,
buyer broker with her client?
Probably didn't have one.
It's such a hot mess. I'm not going to name the brokerage, but there are some really fantastic brokerages out there that pay you a lot higher splits, but they don't give you any sort of support or education. And yeah,
That's really not good.
a whole lot of nothing, still a whole lot of nothing. But it's such a simple thing, like read through stuff, make sure you do your homework ahead of time, don't get caught up in the moment. Everyone wants to post on socials that they're got their buyer under contract, but anyway.
Well, we can't do that anymore.
Can't do what?
So we can't post under contracts anymore.
Well, we can if we want to be lame, is what Dan's saying.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna.
I'm still going there. You can fight me like after this transaction's over. I'm sorry, I'm not playing nice with you anymore.
Those are fun to post. There's really no reason why we're not allowed to say, hey, we got this property under contract. It's just, that's just dumb. In my
Do
opinion.
your own photo.
Yeah.
Do your own
I didn't
selfie.
mean it. I didn't mean to take the conversation away.
Well, hold on,
apologize.
educate me. Why is that a thing?
So, okay. I'm going through this transaction with this realtor from a different brokerage, right? Um, they've been playing dirty this entire time and like borderline unethical things. We went under contract. My transaction coordinator, Camille, gave me my under contract graphic, posted on social media, and all hell broke loose. She
Because
sent
an
me
agent
the,
that's not even in the transaction
yeah.
became a Karen.
Why?
So,
She didn't like
so
he was using the picture without permission, basically.
Oh,
Someone else's photo.
but now she's going after my entire team, even if it's not her transaction. But she had called every real estate professional that I've done a transaction with in the past year and was telling them that they need to contact me to have it be taken off of social media because it is not allowed. And then proceeds to send snippets of Chat GPT to our agents. It's this whole ordeal. It's gotten so bad, so bad.
I'm gonna
And
do you a
there's
solid, Eric. I'm gonna send a strippergram to her house because she's obviously in need and she's got too much time on her hands.
well, I can't wait for the closing day because when I post the just closed and she calls me like you can't post that, I'm like, oh, we are not doing a transaction anymore. Here's what's up. I played nice and my broker Dan's been the buffer. He's not here anymore.
As long as you're staying compliant and covering your ass,
Yep.
go hard in the paint.
How old is she?
28.
Oh, I
Which
did
is a
not
good
see
age,
that
guys.
coming.
That's a good age.
She is self-righteous
I was thinking she
beyond
was
belief.
older.
That's what I would have thought for sure, right?
Nope.
60s at least.
She's 28.
That sounds like some 60-year-old stuff.
That's what
Not
I
gonna
thought
lie.
she was 60.
You know what she isn't? Productive.
I was gonna say,
Oh crap, is this still on YouTube?
It sure is.
sure is.
We didn't say the
Oh.
person.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, expect another phone call, Eric.
Yeah, wait for that one.
The good news is nobody watches Dan's YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure this person does. I am
Except for
sure
me
this
when you
person
guys
does.
go roast me and I have to watch the replay.
Right?
Oh, I should watch it yesterday's. I don't know what happened yesterday.
No, yesterday was good. It was all the talk about that thing that we said we'd bring to Sam to get some other ideas for creative financing.
Oh, okay.
One last thing before we gotta wrap this up. Granted, I might sound a bit jaded to this because of my AI company we're building, but ChatGPT, all the LLMs currently, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but they're all yes men. Be very careful when you're doing research using ChatGPT to not give it context or a directive if you're trying to get raw, unbiased data. It's really easy for it to hallucinate and give you an answer that seems like damn near accurate because of how it's worded and everything, and it's complete hot garbage. So, or if you guys noticed that, but now that I've said it, play with it and see. I mean, it's kind of absurd, but you can put in there like I had something the other day where, actually this is not the other day, this is months ago. I don't know why I just said the other day. Anyway, okay.
Dan does it all the time.
Oh my goodness, it's like the worst thing. I do this all the time. My wife always gets after me. So I'm like, the other day, and she's like, that was 6 years ago, honey. And I'm like, God damn it. Point is, I put something in ChatGPT and I was asking it to write an eviction notice for a tenant that was Washington State compliant. And I said, here's kind of what I needed to say, here's why, and gave it all the sort of context and sort of a direction I was trying to go. And it wrote this contract up, and I had my attorney look at it. And she's like, no, none of this is even accurate. They have RCWs in here that are not even related to the context you're trying to produce. So just be very, very careful with that because they are geared to do high-level research and then also create very convincing responses. But it's the hallucination factor is super high on all the LLMs currently, and I mean it will be. That's one of the reasons why we developed Lume for the mortgage side of things. Is that piece is what is going to make a lot of the current LLMs obsolete, because they you can get it to proof text pretty much anything. Try it if you don't believe me. It's pretty funny.
That's why I used BrokerBot for this.
Yeah.
This, buyer to pay the remaining out of escrow. Which, what's interesting is I did not know, like, I've amended a buyer broker before, but we just done a fresh buyer broker or some kind of a notice disclosure. There's an actual freaking document, you guys. It's called buyer tenant employment agreement addendum.
Yep.
It's fantastic. That and a promissory note, and then of course ran it over to the broker. Email for approval first.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
I gotta cut off. I gotta go meet a client.
I gotta go close a freaking house.
Close that house.
Close
close
it.
that house. All right,
You gotta do
y'all.
the snap.
Thanks, Sam.
Love y'all.
Thanks,
Have an
man.
amazing weekend. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
Okay.